Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Sideshow Collectibles Harley Quinn 1/6 Scale Collectible Figure. I've really been actually looking forward to this arriving and getting me a chance to get this opened up, get it reviewed for you. We've already obviously had a look on this channel at the 1/6 scale Joker, and it was very fitting that they would then release a Harley Quinn. Before we, of course, have a look at the contents as well as the figure itself, the box itself is pretty interesting. Not a lot going on the front, but all the 4 card symbols represented: spades, diamonds, hearts, and clubs. Down below it also says Harley Quinn. Side of the box has some interesting artwork as well. It says Harley Quinn. But the real artwork is on the back. It's remarkable how Harley Quinn has gone from being a cute kind of girl next door, just with some face paint, to really a creepy looking character. That's a devilish looking smile on her face. And it really makes me feel like aspects of the Joker are definitely rubbing off on Harley Quinn. But that's some amazing artwork. Of course, down below, go to www.sideshowcollectibles.com. Sideshow Collectibles also, if you go to their website and order it, there is a Sideshow exclusive as well that has one other accessory to it. Spot unfortunately did not get his from that direct website, so unfortunately I missed my chance getting the extra knife. But if you definitely want to check out their website, you can get it with the extra exclusive knife. Needless to say, though, Spot's going to spin this around. I'm going to take myself a bit of a break and get this opened up. And when we come back, we're going to get a better look at Harley Quinn. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. For your consideration, Harley Quinn does come with a Sideshow Collectibles display base, and you know what? All things considered, by comparison to the Joker display stand, this one's got a lot of personality to it. On the bottom it says, "Look up and smile," followed by what appears to be the makings of what could be a bullseye, and some nice splattered effect going on there as well. A common sight to see as well is still will have the adjustable neck on the display stand to have Harley Quinn sitting on. I'll show you that in a second. Speaking of also showing you in a second, Harley Quinn actually comes with some really nice accessories, some really interesting accessories, all of which we will get to in a second. But before we do that, let's have a look at the figure itself. Now, looking at the figure in front of me, I think it's a good looking figure. Now, I had one small issue, and perhaps an issue that maybe was ongoing with a lot of collectors when they first saw this image of Harley Quinn. And that was probably this section right here. This was really my reluctancy towards initially wanting to get this figure, was because of this girdle lower piece to the top that she's got going on there. I really was concerned that this was all one singular piece and you could not remove it. Luckily, though, you can remove this. Now, Spot's not actually going to take it completely off because it would involve unfastening this threading here, both on the front and on the back, or certainly on the back, just to unfasten it and take it off. But these side straps can come off, as well as this whole bottom section here. And then underneath it, she's just got her regular Harley Quinn jester outfit. That is something that I'm really glad they incorporated. I like the fact that they've included extra aspects, just to kind of give her some extra character, I suppose, to her outfit. But for me, I like it really without the girdle. I like it just with the Harley Quinn jester outfit. And luckily, let Spot put your mind at ease that girdle is removable. Looking beyond the girdle, I gotta say, coloring and just outfit-wise, she looks exactly like you would expect Harley Quinn to look in a 1/6 scale figure. Though somewhat simplistic maybe to her counterpart Mr. J, who had the trench coat and the jacket and the shirt and everything else. Harley Quinn has really just a singular body suit that she's wearing. But then she's got all these extra things like the frills in her sleeves, Of course, the Jester style of collar as well that we'll look at in a second. But I really like also things, small things, and really I shouldn't say small things, but things detailed such as her boots. Those are really neat looking boots. And on the underside, it actually says, let me just flip it around here. The one boot says Ka, the other boot says Pow. So just again, really nice touch. The paint though, really on the boots are quite nice. But focusing our efforts, now that we've kind of gotten past the worries of the girdle here, focusing our efforts, let's move the camera up to her head. I gotta say, that's a decent looking Harley Quinn head. It's certainly very devilish, she's smiling quite a bit. I feel as if her gums are maybe showing just a little too much, but I think as a whole, the face is quite nice. She's also got her common Jester pom-poms that are on the sides of her mask, which actually, if I just move the camera slightly back, just a little bit, these sections actually do move. They have their own articulation. Fancy that, they actually have their own articulation. So you can really kind of get them in an angle that you feel best suits the character. I probably would have it more inclined to be further back and not so much in the front. But that face is quite sinister and still very much like what we would expect with a Harley Quinn. The sculpting on the cowl or this hood piece is quite nice. You can even see where the indication of ears have been put in there. And then we've got the wrinkles right where the two pieces of fabric would have been stitched together. And a little bit of stress area there where it would have gone over her head and her hair would have been back in here. But some really nice work. I think Sideshow Collectibles did an amazing job on this figure. It's not to say that maybe this is my favorite head sculpt, because she does also come with a secondary head sculpt as well. The secondary head sculpt definitely conveys a much more Harley Quinn style. This looks like something that you would see right out of the cartoon and or comics that she's appeared in. A much more pouty look to Harley Quinn. Almost like she is really going to sucker punch you with her mallet. To change the head, all you're going to do is just wiggle the existing head that's on her body, being very careful. Also, because this is a female body, you might want to, the peg might be just a little bit smaller, but you're just going to pop the head off and finagle the alternate head on. And there you have Harley Quinn with her alternate head. Again, like, I really like this look to her. I do certainly like the more devilish grin of Harley Quinn too, but I think this one I prefer a little bit more. Of course, as always, Sideshow Collectibles gives you extra pegs. They give you 2 extra head pegs, and they give you 4 extra hand pegs that you can switch out Harley Quinn, and then in case you have any issues with those pegs, you've got extras. So that's always certainly a nice touch as well. And while we're on the topic of extra things, Harley Quinn does come with 7 extra hands above and beyond the 2 hands that she's currently sporting now. Of those hands, she has available several different Jester hands, for example. Find more so on the black hands, the right side, I guess, that we're looking at here. Those hands are more geared towards gestures. She seems to have a lot more gesture hands with the black gloved hands versus that of the red hands. When you start getting to the red hands, you still have like open closed hands, like open hands for holding things. But you also get some really interesting looking hands. She's got, for example, she's got a ha-ha brass knuckle hand, which is certainly would be fun to include. And she also does come with a syringe hand as well. Rounding out the rest of the accessories, Harley Quinn has this amazing pop gun weapon. It's extremely large, oversized really, but fits perfectly with the kind of stuff that we see from Harley Quinn. On the front there's a smiley face, and actually this section right here, this cork can come out. It's only attached via a thread. I don't know if you would want to have it dangling. I guess you could kind of have the figure posed with the gun kind of behind her back as if she's already fired it, or you could kind of have it where she's pointing at you with the cork already popped out. But some really nice detailing on that cork. I think they did a fantastic job, and I love this plaid motif along with the silver in the, I guess, bottom section of the gun. And by switching out one of the hands, you can get her holding her pop gun and get this really neat looking display piece. From a distance, that just looks awesome, especially with this pouting face that she's got. Having that with the pop gun certainly is a nice way to display the figure. Harley's largest accessory, however, is this mallet. And I am super impressed with how this mallet turned out. It definitely has a real wood look to it. Kind of got the rings around the top of the mallet too, giving it that real rusted look to it. It looks like something that would have been found at an abandoned circus or carnival. It's got some wrapping around the handle here, but it really looks like it is wood. And then on the side there, let's bring the camera in there, it actually says "your face here." I don't know how many faces have actually met the face of this mallet, but it's really awesome detailing on this piece. The only thing I would say about the mallet, though, is it is heavy, especially the end part of the mallet. It's extremely heavy, and while I would have loved to have had Harley Quinn holding the mallet kind of behind her shoulder, unfortunately both the way that her arm is bent and for how heavy this mallet is, I wouldn't advise it just because you're putting a lot of strain on not only the elbow but also of the wrist. It's a nice touch, but I probably would have it just on the floor or at the display base with her holding the mallet, but I definitely would not have it probably holding it across her shoulder, just because the mallet itself seems quite heavy and too heavy to probably pose it in that way. Harley's articulation seems to have all the same sort of articulation that you would come to expect with Sideshow Collectibles. Her head is on a ball joint, moves left and right, up and down. Her shoulders are on a hinged socket ball joint as well, so they do move out. They move forward, back. She does have a double bend in the elbow, or perhaps that is only a single bend in the elbow, but she has a rotation in the forearm, and of course the rotation and bend in the hand via the ball joint that's in the hands. She has the upper torso crunch, as a rotation as well in the waist, and then her legs go forward, back, out. She has a swivel in the thigh, upper thigh, double bend at the knee, and then she has a swivel and bend at the boot. So she definitely has lots of articulation, and you can get her in any sort of pose that you would want to put Harley Quinn in. And of course, no review would be complete without having Harley Quinn alongside her beau, Mr. J. I mean, the two of them look amazing together. I think they still share similar aspects to being comic book versions of their characters. Harley Quinn very much rooted in comic book design. Same thing can be said for for Joker here, that the two of them really work hand in hand very well together on a display shelf. Harley Quinn seems like she is just a little too tall, but as a whole, though, the two of them look so incredible together. I could not be any happier with this figure. While initially, yes, I was really on the fence with the fact that she was going to be available with this girdle section to her outfit, but luckily with it being removable, we're getting a classic designed Harley Quinn that debuted in the Batman animated series in 1/6 scale format. While yes, unfortunately, she doesn't quite look like this in the comic books anymore, and to the true Harley Quinn fans out there, they miss the days of the Jester Harley Quinn. I think Sideshow really took what we always loved about Harley Quinn and gave it to us again in a 1/6 scale figure. Today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the Sideshow Collectibles Harley Quinn 1/6 scale collectible figure. And certainly stay tuned, guys. The spot's going to have a lot more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching as you always do, and I'll see you next time.